Come through, come through. Book lovers, this live is for you. I want to hear from the book lovers. Where the book lovers at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Come through, come through, come through. Let's vibe for a minute. Let's vibe for a minute. What's up? Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night, wherever you may be in the world right now. My name is Nadine, aka Entice, and thank you so much for stepping over to my little corner of the internet. Okay, my belly is full. I just finished eating, so the energy is there. And I decided I would come on and do this live before it got too late because I ended up going to bed extremely late last night, later than I should have. And I don't want to do that again tonight. So we out here. Now, why am I calling in all the book lovers? Number one, I am a book lover. I love to read. I like reading all types of books, but mainly I like nonfiction. I don't really dabble in fiction too much anymore. When I was younger, I was into fiction. Now I can't really get with the fiction anymore. So still love for all book lovers, regardless if you're reading fiction or whatever else. Over the past probably decade, I would say I read a lot more self-help books. Um, I read kind of different topic books, like for example, business books, marketing books. Marketing is my major. It's what I went to school for. I dabble in business a lot. I read finance books. I'm also in finance. Um, I read like different cooking type books. I read books about food, health, nutrition, fitness. I am a fashion lover. I read fashion books, styling books. I just love to learn, and a part of learning comes with reading because I have the strong belief that we are always students. We are always students in life, and life is always going to teach us, regardless if we want to learn or not. Life is the biggest school that we are all in, and I just love experiencing life through reading different books, uh, different health books, um, spirituality books, et cetera, so forth and so on. I do not discriminate typically with the books, but like I said earlier, I'm more into nonfiction than fiction. So I decided I would come on and make today's topic because in yesterday's live, I mentioned a book. And after digging deeper, because it's literally been years since I read this book, I realized that the book that I talked about, the information was a little wrong. Okay. Oops, my bad. Made a little bit of a error with the information. Hello, what's up? Thanks for the like. Thank you for being here. Tap in, tap in. Is it Sabla? Hey Sabla, what's up? Thank you for being here. Let me know. Actually, let me go ahead and put a poll up in here. Okay. I don't know why I didn't think about that. We need a poll going because we're calling in all the book lovers. And I'm so curious to know what types of books y'all like. How do I do this again? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so let's get a poll. What kind of books, I can type, books do you like to read? And I'm just gonna put it into two categories, make it nice and simple. Nonfiction, nonfiction, or fiction. Okay, boom. We don't need another option. Done. Start poll. There we go. Oh, you like anime books. Okay, nice, nice. That's what's up. Okay, move that over there. Y'all definitely go ahead and vote. Okay, fiction. I can speak. I can speak English, I promise. Okay, we got 50-50 going on. Okay, oh, I like watching this in real time. I love seeing how this goes. Yes. Hey, it's it Track Life. What's up, Track Life? What's up? What's up? What's up? So it looks like fiction is winning right now. Oh my gosh. We are outnumbered, nonfiction readers. I am also on the nonfiction side of reading. And the reason why I decided to do this live today is because yesterday in yesterday's live, I was talking about books and I mentioned a book and I was so wrong about this book because it's literally been years since I actually read this book. So I got my wires a little crossed. So I wanted to come on and correct that. And in correcting that, I wanted to actually talk about some of the books that I've read. And yeah, so how long have I been? Okay, so that's a great question, Sabla. So let me let you know. I started doing lives consistently since the 1st of June. So this is, what day is it? The 17th day in a row that I'm doing a live. And for today, I've only been on for like just a little over 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes now. Yeah. So I'm trying a thing for June. I decided that I would dedicate June to going live every day for the 30 days. I don't know what gave me that idea. Some days I regret that idea, but here I am because I made that promise I wanted to continue to show up. And it's been fun because I've been able to connect with different people all around the world, learn more about you guys, and I've just been really enjoying myself. And yeah, I'm excited to be here again today. And I decided I would talk to all the book lovers. So definitely share as well in the comments if you or what types of books you like to read, was what I was going to say. How do you send gifts? I have no idea. I am so new and I'm not monetized yet on this channel. So I have no idea. I'm still learning. So I probably have to have more subscribers and um, more watch time hours before I could even let you know about that. I'm clueless. And honestly, before I decided to come on and do these lives, I wasn't actively watching other people's lives. So I am such a noob to YouTube lives. So I appreciate everybody that's popping in and saying hi and chilling with me and connecting with me because this girl does not know what she's doing right now. Okay. I used to go live on Instagram. Oh, there's a gift box button. Okay, yeah. It's probably just I don't have enough subscribers yet. I think before I came on this live, it said I had 98 subscribers. So I'm almost at 100. And I'm like, yay. Because literally, it's like, boom. In just a few days, I just saw my subscriber count going up. So it's been really neat to connect with people and see the subscribers go up. So yeah, thank you so much for everyone that subscribed. I can't tell like who's tuning in before or if it's your first time here. So I appreciate all the new subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the love, for the support, for the likes, for people coming in and saying hello. I'm sure if I continue going live and continue, doing content like this, the count will go up and I'll have more subs and then more subs, and I'll have all the cool live features that you're talking about, Sabla. So thank you for sharing that because I didn't know that you could even do that. Yes, I'm going live stream tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. It kind of depends on how my evening goes. More than likely, it'll probably be because right now I'm in Canada on Eastern time zone. So it's like 7:15ish p.m. when I went live. So it'll probably be around that same time tomorrow between now and it kind of depends. Because I like to try to have my dinner and stuff before I come on. When I first started doing lives, I was coming on earlier and doing my dinner later, but it just kind of depends. I've been doing these impromptu lives. Is it Rosen? Hi, Rosen. What's up? Thank you for being here. Oh, nonfiction took the lead when I wasn't paying attention. Okay, nonfiction book readers are in the building. Definitely drop in the chat. Let me know what type of books you'd like to read. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'm so curious to know, what is your favorite book? What is your favorite book? Or what's a book that left an impact on you? Now, the reason why I decided to do this live today, I mentioned a book yesterday in the live that I did yesterday, and I was wrong about it. So I wanted to come on and correct myself because I was actually going to go ahead and add it to my book list. So I use Venable, which once this goes live, probably about tomorrow, I'll try to go in and I'll add the link to my Venable books list. It's not at all by any means all the books that I've read or all the books that I've owned. Most of my books, I just recently relocated to Ontario, and all my stuff are still in Alberta, where I'm originally from. Well, not all of my stuff, but most of my books, about 95% of my books, are still in Alberta. But I do also read books digitally, like through like the Apple ebooks. And I also have gotten a ton of books, accumulated a ton of books since I moved to Ontario. and I started creating a list on Benable so that other book lovers can tap in and see some of the books that I've read and see if there's any of the ones that I've read that I've enjoyed that maybe you would enjoy as well. So after mentioning that book in my live yesterday, I wanted to go on Benable and add it today, and couldn't add it because I was dead wrong. I was dead wrong. So I got my wires a little crossed, and I wanted to connect to correct that. So yesterday I mentioned Damon John. He is the creator of a brand name called Fubu. Fubu is not around anymore. I don't think so, anyways. So he had written a book, and I was referencing the book because yesterday's topic was how to get out of your own way. And I believe that he wrote a book called How to Get Out of Your Own Way, but I was wrong. The book that he wrote that I read twice was The Power of Broke. And it's a really good book. It basically talks about how he started his business, and he does use the concept a lot about getting out of your own way, but I was a little bit got my wires crossed there. I was wrong about that. So The Power of Broke is the Damon John book. So I'll be adding that to my Benable list and then linking that. So if anybody wants to check out the books that I've read, definitely go ahead and do that. And if you're not on Benable, I've been thinking about sharing Benable, but I wasn't sure if I should share it on live or if I should do an actual video where I'm able to get into a little bit more detail about what Benable is. And let me know also if that sounds like something you might be interested in. I've been loving Benable. A dope thing about Benable as well is that you can get paid off of Benable for sharing stuff that you love. You can share your different experiences, different products, and stuff that you enjoy. It's kind of like Pinterest, and I love it. I joined it a few months ago. It was literally just sitting on my phone collecting dust, and I decided to join it, and I really, really like it. So for the Benable to join it, if you are not already on it, there is a wait list. So with my link that you can see my books, if you do want to join, you can join through my link, and then that way you can pass the wait list if it is something you're interested in. So I'll be adding that Benable link if you guys want to check that out. And then the other book that I accidentally referenced yesterday, but is actually also a good book, but has absolutely nothing to do with the topic I was talking about yesterday, was literally the book How to Get Out of Your Own Way. And that was actually written by Tyrese Gibson. If y'all are not familiar with who Tyrese Gibson is, he is an actor slash model slash singer. And he wrote that book a while ago, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I read a lot of like self-help books, as I mentioned earlier. So it was a really great book. I really enjoyed it. And it's been ages since I've read that book, but I think it's so good. And I'm just going to add those two books to my Benable today, probably after I get off the live, and then try to add the link as soon as I can into the description so that you guys can check out my book preferences, and definitely feel free to share yours again. Like I said, in the chat if you want to share, or in the comments after this video is posted and the replay, you're watching on the replay. So okay, I'm glad to see that there's a lot of people out here that do love to read as much as I do. Nonfiction won the vote somehow. It wasn't before. Fiction was winning, but somehow nonfiction took over, so that's pretty neat. And I'm always open to seeing more books and learning of more books. So, anyways, since I'm on here and nobody's telling me right now what books they love to read, I'm gonna go ahead and just open up my Benable if I can find it. And I'm going to share some of the books, just even in case maybe you don't want to click through to Benable and you're curious about the book list that I have on Benable. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to get off. I'm going to get off the live for the night. So let's see. So I will show you quickly what it looks like. So here is my Benable book list. Okay. So let us see. So under the personal development category, this book is so good. This is a book I recommend to everybody to read this book. And my opinions on some parts of this book has changed over the years, just because as you grow, you have different life experiences, you have different opinions, all of that good stuff. But I still recommend this book to everybody because I think it is such a fantastic book. And it is called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It is by Susan Jeffers. And it's really a good book at helping you understand what is preventing you from really achieving your goals. It really helps you to get clear on identifying if the fear that you have that's stopping you from moving forward is a fear that is not necessarily justified, in a sense, if it's not a fear that's actually protecting your survival, or if it's a fear that it's kind of based off of a limiting belief. So that is a fantastic book. Highly recommend. I recommend it to everybody. Hello, hello, what's up, everybody? Let me know what your favorite book is in the chat. Thank you for being here. We're just doing a quick run through of some of the books that I've read on the Benable app. So I'll be linking this later if you guys want to go through and look to see some of the books that I've read. My favorite book, honestly, like I said, I always go back to Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. I always recommend that book to everybody just because I think it's such a good book just to get super clear about where you are in life. Honestly, I read so many different books and from so many different genres, and a book that I keep going back to, like I've gone back to this book a couple of times. I think I probably read that book 3 times. So that's what I'm gonna say, you know. So I'm not understanding your question, Sabla. So this book particularly, it's a female author. Her name is Susan Jeffers. And there's like so many different covers. So this is what one of the covers looks like. This is what the other cover looks like. Let's see. The next book. Oh my gosh, this book is good. This book is good. Okay. And I love, love, love this author. I used to follow her for years before she wrote this book. She is absolutely fantastic. The Four Agreements. Oh my gosh, Amanda. Yes, that book is dope. I don't remember if I have it on this list. Let me quickly scroll through. I don't have it on this list, but I have that book here, and I also have it in Alberta. It is so good. I love that book. I've read that book a couple of times. It is so good. So thank you for sharing that. The one above what's your favorite book? The one above the what's your favorite book? Rosenblocks? I'm not sure. Sorry. I don't understand what you mean. Oh, look at that. I didn't know that was there. Top fans. That's neat. Okay, so moving on to the next book on the list. So it is from this author, like I was saying. She is absolutely amazing. Her name is Marie Forleo. She has a YouTube channel. I haven't watched any of her content or anything for a while, but I was following her for years, 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 years. And she is so amazing. I love her so much. And her book is called Everything is Figure Outable. This is another book that really helps you to literally, if you tapped into yesterday's live, this is a book I should have mentioned on yesterday's live, because this is a book that really helps you understand that literally everything in life you can overcome. There are no obstacles, there are no challenges that are going to keep you stuck forever. You can overcome every single obstacle and challenge that you have. There's always a way. There is always, always a way. Yes, Amanda, it is so good. Highly recommend. 5 stars across the board. That's a good one. The next one, okay. This is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Oh my gosh, this book was so mind blowing to me, okay? Because the thing about this book is the main topic that this book talks about, the concept that is unveiled in this book. I literally experienced it like a couple weeks before before I actually read the book. And this book basically helps you to understand the importance of really trusting your intuition and trusting that the ideas that you're given, there's a reason why you're given these ideas. Because a lot of people think that ideas are just kind of like fleeting things that kind of come and go. But honestly, ideas are kind of like currency. So if you get an idea, it's so important to latch onto that idea and run with it if you can, because somebody else can definitely come up with that idea. If you're not going to use that idea, somebody else will use that idea. So it is such a good book. Highly recommend. Folger Films. Oh, okay. I didn't even see that. Thanks for sharing that, Sabla. At 8, is that 8 p.m. Eastern? I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pop on, but I'll try to check out his page for sure. Oh, he draws what you tell him. Oh, okay, that's neat. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Okay, so Big Magic, highly recommend. The next book on my list, and I always pronounce this wrong, I think it's Ikigai. It's Ikigai. It's the Japanese secret to long, happy life. And this is a book that if you're struggling to figure out what your purpose is in life, this book has a really neat concept that will help you figure it out. And it basically has you do an exercise where you kind of split up what you love to do, what the world needs, what you're really good at, and one other category I can't really remember. And basically, by the end of reading this book, if you're looking for clarity in your life about your purpose, about your next steps, about things that you think you should be doing or should not be doing, this book is tea. Okay, this book is going to help you figure that out. I highly, highly recommend it. Next book on the list is The 12-Week Year. Okay. Oh my gosh, this book has been revolutionary to me. Okay. I have not been exercising these concepts as of late, but when I had them locked in, I definitely saw a change in my productivity and being able to reach my goals. Oh, Sabla, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is so kind of you. You're doing awesome work. And I know that you are probably very greatly appreciated by all of the creators that you've helped. So that is so dope. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trying to help me as well. I appreciate it. That's dope. And thank you for also sharing Fogler, Fog, I can speak English, Fogler Films. I'm going to try to check out his channel. If not today, I'll try to do that. I'll have to make a note to myself because literally my list of things to do, sometimes I forget. Sometimes it's been, I don't always get back to it. Let me actually go ahead and make a note right now. Right now, right now. Foggers Films on YouTube. That's dope. Okay. So yeah, the 12-week year, it says get more done in 12 weeks than others do in a year. And this book is good. Okay. This book basically helps you change the concept of how to schedule your goals so that way you can achieve more. Real sweet, simple. Basically, it helps you to map out your goals based on 12 weeks instead of 12 months, and then you're able to actually accomplish more in 12 weeks than you would in a whole year. It's pretty neat, and I love that concept. The next book on the list. Now, this book, it took me a while to read this book. There was so much hype on this book, and I was like, okay, I have to finally read this book to find out what everybody's getting hype about. And it's The Alchemist. Okay. Honestly, when I started reading the book, I was like, I have no idea where this is going. Did I make a bad decision? No problem, Sabla. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Hope to see you again. So yeah, with The Alchemist, I really see ya. I really thought when I first started reading this book that maybe I made a bad decision. I'm like, maybe I made a bad choice. I don't know about this book, but it's good. It's very good. I think it's one of those books that you kind of have to experience for yourself. So I'm gonna just leave that there. The Alchemist. That's the next one on the list. Okay, this book. This book always looked really interesting to me. So I had it on my book list, and I was going to be doing a podcast. I don't even really remember how that all came together, but I was on a podcast episode with someone, a few years ago, and we were going to be discussing this book. Let me tell you how dense this book is to read. So, this book, I don't necessarily recommend this book to everyone for a few reasons. It's a little bit graphic, and it might bring up some things in you. This is a book I believe that psychologists, psychotherapists, um, psychiatrists, like people in the mental health field, typically read, and it's called The Body Keeps Score: Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. It is such a dense book. It's a rough book to read. I only recommend this book to people that really want a very, very deep understanding of trauma, how trauma works, how trauma affects you, how trauma has affected other people in your life. It is not an easy read by any means. It took me a long time to read this book. It took me so long to get through this book, but I had to get through it. And I think the only reason I got through this book was because I was doing a podcast episode on it. It's a rough one. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but it's on the list because it is so good. If you can get through it, you're going to learn so much from this book, especially if you're someone that's trying to understand your triggers, you're trying to understand your traumas, you're trying to understand other people's traumas, why people operate the way that they do, you're trying to understand how certain life experiences affect people. This is such a good book to read. But be prepared. Be prepared, because this is not an overnight sit down and read in 2 days type of book. It's not going to happen. You're probably going to need at least 2 weeks to read this book. Just letting you know. Okay. The next book, I read this book a while ago. It is such a good book. I kind of want to read it again. And it is called The Craving Mind. This is written by Judson Brewer. I don't even think I told you all the authors for all these other books. My bad. But like I said, I will be linking my Benable book list. So I'll continually be adding more books on there because I have not added not even half of the books on there as yet. So you can definitely check it out. So this one is called The Craving Mind. And it's a book that basically helps you understand. The last book, it's called The Craving Mind. Hi, Kennedy. Yeah, Amanda, it's called The Craving Mind. And this is a book that helps you understand addiction. It helps you understand why people become addicted or become obsessed with certain things in life. So it helps you understand, like, for example, like people that get addicted to social media, people that get addicted to love, to cigarettes, to whatever the addiction may be. It is such a good book. So I highly, highly recommend. Oh, the trauma one? Okay, my bad. The trauma one is The Body Keeps Score: Brain, Mind, and Body Healing, and the author is Bessel van der Kolk. I'll show you what the cover looks like. So that's a really good one. Now, this one is the one I read during COVID. I heard a lot about it. This was when there was a lot going on with like the Black Lives Matter movement and all of that. It is called So You Want to Talk About Race, and it is by, I probably cannot even pronounce this name. Oh, it's Ijoma Oluyu. I think I pronounced that right. I probably pronounced it wrong. I pronounce a lot of things wrong. But she wrote this book about basically racism, and it shares a very interesting perspective on America's racial landscape and how individuals can come together. And I think it's beautiful. The heart of the book is very good, just helping people who want to come together and, you know, overcome those barriers, those racial barriers that people deal with, right? You're welcome, Amanda. I don't remember if I said that or not. You're welcome. Okay, so those are the personal development books. Now, moving on, I've added 4 business books here. So this book, oh my gosh, if you are a multi-passionate person, a multi-dimensional person, someone that just loves so many different things, this book spoke to my heart. And I read this book a while ago. I should probably read it again because I feel like I've needed these reminders so many times in life. This book is called Range, and it says why generalists triumph in a specialized world. And this book right now, I honestly feel like this season, at the time that I'm recording this, the time that I'm live right now, is a good time to read this book. This is by David Epstein, And the reason why I think this book is so good is because there's a lot of talk about this right now, about why generalists triumph in a specialized world. Because for a lot of years, people have had that assumption or that belief that the specialist was more important than the generalist. And that a generalist, you know how they have that saying, it's like jack of all trades, master of none. And there's a second part of that quote that basically flips it on its head, but I can't remember it right now. But basically, this book basically talks about why being a generalist, why being someone who's multi passionate, why being someone that has a lot of interest is so important, especially in this day and age, because it'll help you to see how you have that ability and that power to connect things that a specialist can't connect. A specialist only knows about their one area of expertise, where a generalist knows about a lot of different things, and they're able to connect those things together. And that is so powerful, right? And generalists have always been downplayed, but right now we're living in the era where generalists can thrive. So, this book right here, if you're multi passionate, you got a lot going on, highly recommend this book. Hey, Kata, what's up? Yeah, I always forget what it is because people harp on that first part, jack of all trades, master of none. And then I think it's something like, but something is better than one or something like that. I don't even remember. Um, but it's really an interesting quote because people focus on the top part of the quote, but the bottom, last part of the quote flips it on its head, right? And honestly, what are we calling it now, actually? Renaissance people. So the Renaissance woman, the Renaissance man. The Renaissance is like people who just move through life exploring their different desires, exploring their different um what's the word I'm looking for? The different things in life that really inspired them or motivated them, just the things that they enjoyed. Their passions, that's what I was looking for. They explore their different passions, they enjoy them, they live them out, and then they're able to connect the dots between certain things that people cannot connect the dots on. And when it comes down to it, that is how you create your own personal brand, because your personal brand is specific to you, because nobody's going to like all the exact same things that you like. No one has had all the same life experiences you have had. No one has thought all the same exact thoughts you have thought, right? So being a generalist, it's downplayed, let me tell you. And the book Range, highly recommend. Check it out. Okay. The next book is Building a Story Brand. I probably need to reread all these books in here, but literally there's so many books that I still need to read. It's baffling. I just love books, and like I don't know how I'm gonna read all the books and reread all the books in this lifetime. I don't know. And then live and do all the other things in life, because I love me a good book. So, Building a Story Brand. This book right here, it's written by Donald Miller. I had the biggest epiphany after I was done reading this book. So if you're someone that is working on a personal brand, you're working on a business brand, whatever you got going on, you're doing branding. This book will help you understand. It basically gives you a breakdown. It simplifies and gives you a breakdown of the importance of creating a story in your brand, and why people connect to brands, why people connect to stories, why people connect to movies, why people connect to specific characters. This book is tea. Okay. Remember, I told you, definitely check it out. Kata, absolutely. Donald Glover, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot, actually. I think even Kanye would fit into that too. Um, Jay-Z would probably fit into that. Who are some other people off the top of my head? There's a lot of people that fit into that. Who else would I say? Actually, he's on the list too, and the book list. Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay, listen. If you are in the world of business, if you're in the world of marketing, and you don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, I'm gonna need you to take a note. Take a note right now. Gary V. I love Gary V. Honestly, him and Marie Forleo are like two individuals that, when I was starting up my entrepreneurial journey, really got me through, really helped me to overcome a lot of the mindsets that I had. And Gary V, definitely, I would say he is somebody to tap into. Okay. I have one of his books on this list. I have many of his books, but I did put one of them on the list here. So the next book is Influencer. This book was written by Brittany Hennessy. I read this book way, way back. Some of the information, I don't think it would be super current per se, because it was a while ago that I read this book, but it's good information. Again, this is for individuals building businesses, building personal brands, et cetera, so forth and so on. This is a book that is really great for helping you understand online content, content creation. If you want to be an influencer, if you want to be someone who can work with larger brands, this is a book that is a playbook that's really going to help you understand how things function. Mind you, like I said, the book, it's been a while since I've read it, so some of the information might be a little bit dated. I know things have changed a lot since this book was written, but I think there's still a lot of really good information in there for anybody that is really wanting to become serious in building online presence. So I would definitely check that one out. Next on the list is 1 Million Followers by Brendan Kane. Brendan Kane been out here doing this thing for a hot minute. Okay, he's worked with so many different people, so many different brands to help people grow their social media accounts. This book also is a little bit dated, but I think the concepts are still pretty good. It's been a while since I've read this book as well. But basically, he helps you understand what you would need to build a social following. He kind of shows how easy it can be to build 1 million followers. Like, it sounds crazy, but it's actually not. I think in this book, if I remember correctly, he also gives you the paid strategy that you can use to build 1 million followers as well, if you're someone that wants to pay to play. Okay. I think there are also some examples in there for organic growth, but obviously organic growth takes longer typically, unless you're really locked in to knowing who your target audience is. So that's another one that I would recommend. And again, I will link these. These are all on my Benable, and I'll link the list in the description at some point so you can check it out. Is Gary Vee not on here? Oh, I thought I had a Gary Vee book on here. I can't believe I didn't add a Gary Vee book on here. I think I was going to and I forgot. Soon come, soon come. All right. Next up is, oh my gosh, this book. Okay, we're getting into the money and finance category of the books. And there's only two on here right now. This book is so good. It is called The Law of Divine Compensation, Work and Money, and it's by Marianne Williamson. And if y'all have watched, I think it's Coach Carter. If you remember at the end, that basketball player that's like quoting this, there's like a poem that Coach Carter always reads. I believe this is the author that he reads it from. So this book talks about money and understanding money on a spiritual level, understanding how money connects on a, what's the word I'm looking for? On like a universal law aspect. I thought it was fantastic. I would absolutely read it again. I loved it so much. I bought one for my mom. So, highly recommend that one. The next one is You Are a Bad Ass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. I have absolutely read this book 3 times. So this is another book I've read quite a bit. I probably would have read it again if it wasn't in storage in Alberta. I probably would have read it again. I probably would have read this book 5 times. I think there's so many good concepts in here. And there's like a little bit of a challenge that is integrated into the book for you to practice. And it just helps you to continually expand your capacity for financial abundance. We live in a world where finances are necessary to survive. You gotta pay money to do stuff, right? But a lot of people don't necessarily have an intrinsic desire for money. Money is just a book, a book. I'm reading and thinking at the same time. Money is just a means to acquire a lot of these things, and thus the reason why so many people feel like they need money when really they would like to have money in order to enjoy their experiences that they like to enjoy in life and to survive, right? Because that's how we're programmed. Um, it probably is, Kata. It's a good book. It looks like this. She wrote a book called You Are a Badass, and then she wrote this one after, You Are a Badass at Making Money. And I really like this book because it's practical and there's action steps. So if you're someone really trying to expand your wealth consciousness, this is another good one to check out. Now we're getting into the spirituality aspect of the books. And this book, I'm actually reading this book again right now. It is called Ask and It Is Given. I think this is my second time. No, it's my third time. Oh my gosh, I'm shocked that I've read some of these books multiple times, considering my list of books is long as hell. But I have two of these books. One was in Alberta, and then I got one when I moved to Ontario. I saw it and I picked it up, and then I went back to Alberta and I actually grabbed it and brought it back with me because anyways, it's a long story. Y'all don't need to hear that story. But this book, I'm reading it right now actually, and it is by Esther and Jerry Hicks, or Abraham Hicks. You would kind of need to understand and look into Abraham Hicks to kind of understand that whole story. That's a story for another day and a time. I mean, Abraham has so many videos on YouTube. You can just type in Abraham Hicks to get a better understanding of what Abraham is all about. Esther and Jerry. It was a very interesting topic to me when I first came across it, but the more I've been tapping in, I'm like, okay, yeah. So I found out about them. I don't know how long ago. At least at the bare minimum, I think it's been about at least 8 years ago. And I love all their books that they've read. They have a really good book on money too. I think I have most of their books, but again, they're all in Alberta. So this one is Ask and It Is Given. It's called Learning to Manifest. And this is a book that helps you remember that not only are your desires available to you, it helps you to understand how to step into attracting those desires, how to position yourself to be open to those desires. And it has a ton of techniques. So if you've ever looked into the manifestation side of YouTube, you'll see a lot of techniques that people use are actually from this book. So highly recommend. It's a dope book. The next book, oh my gosh, this book got me right. I read this book right before I moved to Ontario. I wasn't intending on moving to Ontario at the time when I read this book, but it's called The Power of Now, Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment, and it's by Eckhart Tolle. This book, I had heard stuff about this book for years and years and years and years and years, and I was just like, I got to find out the hype for myself. I think the first time I found out about this book, I was young, and I'm pretty sure I saw Oprah talking about it. I don't even know. I was young, and I just kept hearing about this book over and over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, it's cool. I'm gonna find out for myself. Okay, I'm gonna pull up and see what The Power of Now was talking about. This book blew my mind. Okay, this book, I read this book at the right time. And while I was reading this book, I was also reading another book from Esther and Jerry Hicks. It was their money book. I don't remember what it is right now, but it's their book about money. Now, The Power of Now will really help you to see things from a completely different perspective. When I tell you that life got so easy, life felt so easy when I was reading this book, to the point I'm like, I absolutely need to read this book again. I think I have the digital version. Like, I think I have the ebook, but I prefer paperback books. I prefer to actually hold a book in my hand when I'm reading certain topics. This is one of the books. So as soon as I get my stuff out of storage, I'm probably going to be searching for this one because I absolutely want to read this one again. Actually, I think one of my friends out here has this book, so I should probably just borrow it. But this book is so good. It helps you to understand that literally all your desires, they're not out far where you think they are. They're here already, right? And it just really helps you to tap into it and get yourself in the right mind frame to embody what you desire. And then it's like, I don't know what it is. When I was reading this book, life just felt super easy. So highly recommend to check that book out. And then the last book that I got on this list right now is Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. I read this book a long time ago, but it stuck with me. It stuck with me. I can't even speak English right now. It stuck with me. There we go. And the thing that I really appreciated about this book is because we live in a day and age where a lot of people attribute their usefulness based on what they're doing, like how much stuff they can do, how much they can achieve, right? We're in a process of being a human doing, right? This book reminds you the importance of being a human being. It teaches you that stillness is okay. Taking a pause is good. Taking a rest is good. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Okay? And that's what I love about this book is because it reminds you that stillness is a wonderful thing. There's nothing wrong with being still. Hi Andrew. Thanks for being here. So, that is the last book on the list and my gosh, all that talk in my throat. My oh my. Mm-mm-mm. So again, I will link these books, not right now, but probably by the time this is fully live, I'll link this book list in the description if you want to check it out. I'll constantly be adding books. Kata, I was actually saying before you came on, I know you're on yesterday's live, so the reason why I decided to do this live today was because I was wrong about the book I mentioned yesterday, the one I said about Daymond John. So the book that I read by Daymond John was The Power of Broke, was the actual book. I was trying to add it to my Benable today, and I realized I gave it the wrong name. So I wanted to correct that and decided to just turn this whole live into a book live, which I've been live for now over 45 minutes. Uh, but there is a book called How to Get Out of Your Own Way, and that book is by Tyrese. I did read that book, it's actually good. So if you're interested in those, I'll actually add them to my Benable so you can see them as well. Or if you want to write them down, whatever you want to do, I will have that there. And yes, Andrew, books are great. Used to read a lot. Yeah. What types of books did you used to read, Andrew? I myself, I'm a nonfiction girly. I used to read a lot of fiction books when I was younger, but my imagination good. Okay, my imagination can get me in trouble. My imagination is so good. So I try to stick to nonfiction now. I try to stay away from fiction to the point where, like, this is probably gonna sound bad, but I was kind of going through something. I was going through a dark night of the soul a few years ago, and one of my homegirls, she reads a lot, and a lot. Most of my homegirls read a lot. Now that I think about it, all of them be reading, but a lot of them read fiction books. And my one friend put me onto this book, and I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and get this book and read it. I did not last past chapter 2 because I just couldn't do it. I don't know, fiction books just don't. I'm just not into fiction. I just can't. I've tried a few times now that I'm older and I can't do it, unfortunately. Um I just think my brain is such in a state of problem solving and learning and expanding that I don't know, I kind of get bored with fiction at this point in my life. But yes, Kata, I'll definitely go ahead and add it. Oh boy, I think I'm going to be wrapping up this live now. I stayed on way longer than I expected. Yeah, Andrew, I wonder, I mean that could be it. Like I know a lot of people who still read fiction and love fiction, and I love that for them, but I just can't. Like I prefer if I'm going to do fiction, I rather watch a movie than read a book. If I'm reading, it's because I want to learn something. I want to go deeper. I want to build an understanding of something. Maybe post-secondary school is what did that to me. I don't know. Because you know how in school you have to read all these textbooks, you're always consuming content for the purpose of learning. So it's like from the moment I started going to post-secondary school, all of a sudden my mind shifted to want to learn. Okay, if I'm picking up a book, it's books aren't relaxing. Like they are relaxation, but it's not like fantasy time for me. It's like I want to learn. I want to go deeper in the subject, right? Science fiction only. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you again so much to everyone that took a moment to tune into this live. If you're catching this on the replay, I would absolutely love to know what your favorite book is, or if there's a book that I shared that you would like to check out, let me know which one sounds the most interesting. I will continue to add to my Venable book list as I remember books. I'll be putting them on there. And yeah, I'm always open to hearing about more books. There are so many books that I want to read. My book list is so long, and people are writing books every day. There's new books coming out every day, and I'm just behind. I'm behind on all the books that I want to read and need to read. Like, even there's a few indie authors that had reached out to me about reading books, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna read it, and I've not gotten around to it, and I feel like a terrible person. They probably think I'm a terrible person, but I'm just overwhelmed. There's like so many things I'm trying to do and so many books I want to read. And yeah, anyways, again, thank you so much for being here. And as you know, I'm doing this 30-day live thing, so you're gonna see me back here again tomorrow. And yeah, that's all I got. What is my profession? Ooh, that is loaded. That's a loaded question. Um, I would just say that I am a creator. I am a creator. I, yeah, I do a lot of marketing. I do marketing, I do finance, I do create content. Creating content is a big chunk of what I do. Um, I also, I would say, relationship management in the sense of businesses, client care is like a huge chunk of my background too. I was saying earlier, I went to school for marketing, so I'm in business, obviously. So it's layered. It's layered. And because I haven't necessarily been niching myself and putting myself in a category for a while, and my life kind of got turned around, I moved, I did a lot of stuff. I haven't really settled on a label yet since I've been back doing my thing, right? Thank you, appreciate it. And that's the thing too, is like I'm also a creative, so I create a lot. I have some music coming soon, I hope. So, yeah, that's why if you tapped into the earlier part of the live, Andrew, I did speak about just some of the other books that I've read. And one of them was called Range. And it's a book that basically talks about why generalists are important, especially in today's day and age. And I've never been a specialist. I mean, I have like I can what's the word I'm looking for? People might perceive me as a specialist because I know a lot about specific subjects like marketing. We can go don't get me started on marketing. That would be a whole 2-hour live real quick. Business, I can talk about business for hours, right? So people based on those passions, people might see me as a specialist in those particular areas, client care, relationship management, all that stuff. I can talk about that stuff for hours. So I could come across as a specialist in those areas, but I'm really a generalist because I could talk about music for hours. I could talk about food for hours. I can talk about nutrition. I can talk about fitness. I can talk about skincare. I can talk about makeup. I can talk about hair. I can talk about, right? There's so many things that I'm super passionate about, and I'm just a student of life. If I had to say I had an occupation, it would be I'm a student of life. Life is the greatest teacher, and I'm happy to be here to learn and to share my experiences. So thank you for that question. I appreciate it. Ooh, you know what? Oh, I appreciate that. Okay, I didn't know. I'm so glad that you mentioned that because right now the audio that I'm using, it's just straight off of my iPhone. This is the iPhone 17 I'm doing the live on, and I have a microphone right here that I usually use when I'm recording my videos, but I haven't been using it. So thank you for pointing that out. I will try to. I'm gonna charge it and hopefully I will use it for my next live. I appreciate that. I didn't realize my audio was bad, so thank you. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. That's it for now. Thanks again. Ooh, this is my longest live. I think that since I've been doing these daily lives. I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. And yeah, have a good night. I'm out. Peace.